Happening now, Princess Léonor's husband engages her on her 20th birthday. The champagne corks popped, the lights twinkled, and the world seemed to hold its breath as Princess Léonor, spoiler alert, alive, well, and the subject of royal whispers, turned 20. But this was no ordinary birthday celebration. At the stroke of midnight, just as the clock welcomed October 31st, a hush fell over the glittering ballroom. In a moment that will surely go down in palace legend, her fiancé stepped forward and dropped to one knee. The room gasped. The cameras flashed. And for one beautiful second, time stood still. A royal turning point. From the moment Léonor entered the ballroom, resplendent in a floor-length gown of deep emerald, her hair swept softly to one side, the air was electric. She is not just any young woman turning 20, she is heir to the Spanish throne. Born in Madrid on October 31, 2005, she is the daughter of King Felipe VI and Queen Letizia, and by dint of her birthright holds the titles Princess of Asturias, Girona and Viana. But even for someone accustomed to spotlight and ceremony, tonight felt different. The guest list included diplomats and celebrities, but the star of the show was Léonor, and the taut anticipation that something extraordinary would happen. When her fiancé moved into view, the moment snapped into sharp focus. A hush spread like a wave. And then, the proposal. In front of cameras, courtiers and champagne flutes, he asked for her hand. She smiled. She nodded. A cascade of applause followed. Why this matters? This engagement isn't just a romantic milestone, it is a moment of symbolism for the monarchy, for Spain, and for a young woman stepping into one of the highest profile lives in Europe. As the heir to the throne, Princess Léonor's personal choices reverberate far beyond the palace walls. Discussions about her future partner, his background, his suitability have filled forums and tabloids. By choosing to publicly get engaged on her 20th birthday, Léonor sends a message. Yes, tradition matters, but ceremony can also be intimate, personal and poignant. She is two things at once, the future queen and a young person winning her own agency in how that future unfolds. The young woman behind the title. Years of training, learning and line of duty appearances have shaped her. In 2023 she joined the General Military Academy, part of the 3-year program preparing her for a new generation of monarchical service. Yet at 20, she is still young. Turning 20 is a benchmark everyone remembers, all the hopes, the questions, the sense of, what next? For her, those feelings are amplified, enriched by the weight of a legacy and the gaze of a nation. At the party tonight, those closest to her say she was radiant, bright-eyed, happy, but calm. No over-the-top drama. Instead she radiated poise and genuine emotion, proving that even in the most formal surroundings, the human moment still cuts through. The man who asked for her hand. Well, here's the thing, official palace sources are staying tight-lipped. There is no confirmed public name announced yet for Léonor's fiancé. This lack of confirmation gives the moment an air of fairy tale suspense. It also reflects the delicate balance the royal family must strike between personal joy and institutional protocol. Speculation has long swirled around who might become the husband of the future queen. Forums talk about titles, about whether he will be a prince or a consort, about how his role fits into modern Spain. Tonight shows one thing, the decision is hers, and it was made in a moment very much her own. The significance of her 22nd year. Turning 20 is meaningful in almost every culture. It marks the transition from adolescence to full adulthood. For Léonor, it also marks the countdown to new responsibilities. As her father steps further into his reign, the media and public expect her profile to increase, her duties to grow. That the engagement occurred on this birthday is symbolic. She's not just becoming older, she's becoming fuller in status, in visibility, in role. It's a declaration that while the crown awaits, she is choosing the timing, the partner, the narrative. What's next? So what happens now? Several questions loom. When will the official announcement of the wedding date come? Royal weddings normally involve months of planning, negotiations of titles, and coordination of protocol. What title will Léonor's fiancé receive? Spanish royal traditions have wrestled with this question before. Some argue a husband of a queen regnant might be titled king. Others note the decree may limit him to prince consort. How will this affect the monarchy's image? Spain is a contemporary parliamentary monarchy, Marrying for love in the public eye puts a flattering spin on tradition, but also raises expectations for openness and modernity. What will change for Léonor personally? The next year will likely see her take on more engagements, more representation, possibly university or further military training, alongside wedding preparations, no doubt. A moment frozen in time. There is something almost cinematic about the scene. The grand palace hall, the tinkle of crystal, the soft hum of conversation falling silent, the drop to one knee, the ring flashed, the sparkle in her eye. It's a modern fairy tale, but also rooted in centuries of royal heritage. For those who follow the royals, tonight will be replayed in images and headlines. But for Léonor herself, it is the moment she chose to mark her journey into full adulthood, in the company of someone who will walk beside her, through state functions, through personal joys and challenges, through whatever the future reign holds. Closing thought. Yes, the headline reads like tabloid fantasy: Princess Léonor's husband engages her on her 20th birthday. And yet, beneath it lies something real. A young woman at a crossroads, choosing her partner, stepping into her future. The fairy tale glow is real, but so is the weight of expectation, the challenge of a public life, the promise of service. As Spain watches, we might ask not just who he is, or when they wed, but how she chooses to live her life once the ring glints on her finger, the titles whisper in the hall, and the world moves forward. Because after the party, after the photos, after the headlines fade, a new chapter begins, and it is hers to write. Here's to Princess Léonor, may her 20s be bright, bold, and beautifully hers.